Parliament is hosting the State of the Nation address by President Cyril Ramaphosa on Thursday, 7 February 2019 at 7 p.m. Due to the ceremony of state, Cape Town motorists and pedestrians are advised of temporary road closures and parking restrictions in and around Parliament on 7 February 2019. There will be parking restrictions in the following areas: Clipper Road between Main Road and M3, M3 between Princess Anne Avenue and Philip Khosana Drive, Princess Anne Avenue in Newlands, Church Square, corner of Spin and Parliament Streets, Ruland Street between Plain and Brandweer Streets, Plain Street between Ruland and Long Market Streets, Spin Street between Parliament and Plain Streets, Parliament Street between Long Market and Bureau Streets, Hatfield and St. John's Streets between Ruland and Orange Streets, Adderley Street between Whale and Strand Streets, St. Mary's Cathedral parking area between Bouquet and Ruland Streets, Gallery Lane, Queen Victoria Street, Commercial Street between Batenkant and Plain Streets, Barak Street between Batenkant and Plain Streets, Alberta Street between Batenkant and Corporation Streets, Culloden Street between Batenkant and Corporation Streets, Mostert Street between Batenkant and Plain Streets, Long Market Street between Batenkant Street and St. George's Mall, Whale Street up to Queen Victoria Street, Hope Street from Ruland to Wesley Streets, Harrington Street between Ruland and Darling Streets, Parade Street between Darling and Barak Streets, Darling Street between Parade and Canterbury Streets, Glen and Wesley Streets between Hope and Batenkant Streets, Batenkant Street between Darling and Wesley Streets, Avenue Street and Paddock Street, Church Street from St. George's Mall to Adderley Street, Long Market Street from St. George's Mall to Adderley Street. The following roads will close between 6 a.m. and 11:45 p.m. Church Square, Ruland Street between Plain and Batenkant Streets, closure of Company Gardens, Government Avenue from Orange Street to Whale Street, Plain Street from Long Market Street to Ruland Street, St. John Street from Ruland Street to Frede Street, Gallery Lane, Bouquet Street, Hope Street between Ruland and Glen Streets, Wesley Street between Batenkant and Hope Streets, Lane Streets between Batenkant and Hope Streets, Whale Street between Queen Victoria and Adderley Streets, Bureau Street between Adderley and Parliament Streets, Spin and Mostert Streets between Corporation and Parliament Streets, Parliament Street from the gates of Parliament to Long Market Street, Commercial Street between Plain and Batenkant Streets where it becomes bi-directional, Wesley and Glen Streets between Hope and Batenkant Streets where it becomes bi-directional. And there will be road closures on the following roads from 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. Batenkant Street between Darling and Strand Streets, Darling Street between Batenkant and Canterbury Streets, Harrington Street between Darling and Ruland Streets. And the following roads will be closed between 5:45 p.m. to 7 p.m. Clipper Road in Newlands from Main Road M4 to Newlands Avenue, Princess Anne Avenue in Newlands from Newlands Avenue to Union Avenue, Newlands Avenue in Newlands from Dean Street to Princess Anne Avenue, Dean Street in Newlands westbound from Main Road M4 to Newlands Avenue, M3 Union Avenue, Rose Drive, Philip Khosana Drive, Ruland Street, City-bound carriageway from Newlands Avenue to City Centre, Woolsack Drive in Rondebosch westbound between Main Road M4 and Rhodes Drive M3, Anzio Road in Observatory from Main Road M4 to Philip Khosana Drive, N2 Settlers Way City-bound carriageway from Main Road M4 to City Centre. And the following roads will be closed between 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. Ruland Street between Batenkant and Brandweer Streets. Parliament apologizes for any inconveniences caused.